Well, welcome to the second video on IDeA. Today we're going to be looking at two things. First of all, how to set up an engine ready to be used by IDeA, and second of all, how to start a new project from scratch. First of all, you need to open the new Aquarium software. This is Aquarium 2014. We're now on build 700. It's got a sort of a blue look to it. And just wait a minute whilst it opens up. There we go. And I'd like you to begin on the Engines tab here. I'm just going to delete this engine, you'll see why. Right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a new engine which we're going to use in our IDeA projects. So first of all, click on Add, then click on the engine you want to add. In this case, I'm going to choose Critter 1.6 and I'm going to go for the 64-bit edition. Double click. That top line ought to be UCI, by the way, unless you're using some different type of engine. Make sure the name matches, which it does, and then click OK. And you'll see that Critter has been added here. Click on it. You'll notice that the hash has been set too low, so double click there and change it to something more sensible. I'm changing mine to 1 gigabyte. And the idea of an engine running in IDeA is that you get one instance of an engine running on one core. So if you've got a quad core computer, you would be running 4 lots of Critter, one version running on each core. So you want to change the threads down here in the engine options to 1. Mine's on 24. I'm running a dual Xeon system, but that's not going to work. We want that on 1. And that's it. You've created an engine which is now suitable for running in IDeA. So click on IDeA. And now we're going to create a new project from scratch. I ought to say right now that creating a project is one of the hardest things to do in Aquarium, to do it really well, I mean, and even the experts disagree upon what the best settings are. I'm not showing you today the only way of doing it. I'm not showing you the best way of doing it. I am just showing you a way of doing it, because these videos are aimed at beginners and my intention behind them is really just to get you off the ground so that you can start making a project for yourself and doing some analysis with it. You can always change the settings later on and refine it, so don't worry about getting it right from the beginning. You just adapt as you go along. The other thing I'd say is don't worry too much about understanding everything. If you just adopt a policy of monkey see, monkey do for now, and as time goes by we'll understand things better and tweak things as we go along. What you want to do is click on this stopped button, then click on new project. The first thing you need to do is to name your project. So let's say we're going to do a new project on the Karo Khan. You would name it like that. Here's a little tip that I found that's really useful. In brackets, after you name your project, put the engine that you intend to use with it. By the time you've got a dozen projects with a dozen different engines, it gets very confusing. I'm going to put Critter 1.6A because that's what we loaded. Project type should be local. CPU usage, leave that as an active. We'll activate the project manually later on. The IDeA tree name ought to match the project description. It does in this case. You want to tick there. Master tree, just clear that. Don't worry about that for the moment. We'll deal with that later on. Root positions, click on that, that's important. You want to remove everything that they've put. And then click Add your own position, which is E4, C6, D4, D5 in my case. It's White's turn to move, and we're on move number 3, so that's OK. Click OK. Click OK. Right, analysis quality, click on that. What this box is saying is that one there is the minimum amount of time that each engine on each core will analyze for. That is the maximum amount of time, and that is the depth. let's do this. Make that one 120, that's 2 minutes. Make this one 240, that's 4 minutes. And make that 25. That will give you a reasonable quality analysis, depending on how much hardware you've got. The more hardware and more time you have, the higher you can raise these settings and still do useful analysis. If you tell the program, for example, to think for half an hour on a position, you've only got a quad-core computer, you'll be waiting a very long time to get any analysis done on any opening. So click OK. The next one is this. You do want to tick there. I know you don't know what a link game is, just tick it for now, and you probably want that at about 10 and this at about 15. We will come back to that in another video and explain what that means. Just do it for now. Click on the IDeA tab. You definitely want to tick there. Don't bother with ticks there. Tree shape, make that default. I like my tree quite wide. That's how sort of how diverse IDeA is when it's analysing. I'm going to stick mine on 60%. Just go for it for now. I know you don't know what it means, just do it. False alarm check, put that on 4. 6 isn't bad though, but just go with 4 for now. Limit variation length, 75 moves seems plausible. Project score bounds, I'm going to change mine to -300 and +300. I'll tell you why. A knight or a bishop are worth about 300, so it is something easy to relate to. We're either a piece down, piece up. Anything beyond that, IDeA won't bother with because it's quite easy to see that the position is won or lost, respectively. Relative to root score, don't bother with. Script to end of stage, don't bother with. Click OK. And there we have a brand new IDeA project. Click on it. Click on View Project. Ta-da! And it's done. And if you wanted to start it, you would activate it by pressing that button, and then you click Start IDeA, but you'd want to make sure that your engines, you've got the right one selected. So let me turn that off. I can't see Critter anywhere on that list, so I'd click Add. I go to Critter. Let's say for the sake of argument I had a quad-core computer. You'd want that at either 3 or 4. 4 if you wanted to use all the cores, 3 if you wanted one spare to do other work like Excel, Word, etc. Then you click OK and you just press Start to get things going. Okay, so we've seen adding a new engine for the purposes of IDeA, and we've seen how to set up an IDeA project from scratch. Thank you for listening.